him and I have been friends since I was 12. We used to deliver newspapers together. So being able to have someone that you can rely on and trust, like, really takes a lot of weight off your shoulders. And further down the road, depending on, how far you want to take things, it really expedites the process when you have a good right-hand person to do that with.
What's up, guys? My name is Shane, aka the Electric Lawn Care Guy. I'm a certified horticulturist, industry professional of 13 years, and I've been running electric equipment since 2015. Come join my show where I go over all the ins and outs of an electric lawn care business, from equipment reviews, interviews with other industry professionals, advertising tactics, and so much more. Hit the subscribe button, tap that bell, and let's start living the green life.
Yeah, let's kind of go over some of your background. Give me a quick intro, name of your company, where you guys based out of, what all do you guys do?
Hey, this is Chris with Kick Gas Lawns out of Vero Beach, Florida. We just service lawn and landscape maintenance mostly. We focus on lawn. That's where we like the bread and butter of it. A lot of lawn companies don't like just simple mowing, but with the electric lawn care, that's bread and butter. So we like the lawn care, and then we add on landscape maintenance. Right now, we're running somewhere between 50 and 60 accounts. We're running a single man crew at the moment.
Oh, right on.
Yeah, I've stepped out of the truck a few months back to make some things happen, and my brother's running the operation. So so far, that's kind of a snapshot of it. That's who we are.
Cool. How's the dynamic been, like, having your brother on board and working with him? Because I know sometimes, like, you guys, I imagine brothers button heads or not agreeing on things. So how's that worked out for you guys?
I mean, I guess we're unique. It's a good situation. He moved out here from Texas with 7+ years in the green space industry. He was probably one test away from being an ISA certified arborist, and he brought a lot of that passion for the plant life and taking care of just what we do in general, just making it quality. He brought that out here with a ton of just grit, willing to just grind through when things are tough. You both look at each other, you're both fully invested, and you knuckle down and push through it. And it's been really, really good. He enabled us here and we're in year 4. I was going to get out of the truck in year 5. He enabled me to step out at year 4, get a regular JOB to secure a refinance on our home and a few other things that are kind of tough, self-employed.
Yeah, I get that.
But all the way around, it's been a huge huge blessing to have my brother as a part of what we're doing.
No, that's cool. Like, when you can get like a right-hand man, someone that you can trust and depend on, and like to carry things out while you go and execute on other things, it really gives you some flexibility, opens other doors. I had a very similar situation. My best friend works with me. He's my right-hand man, and he helps me run everything. Him and I have been friends since I was 12. We used to deliver newspapers together. So being able to have someone that you can rely on and trust, like, really takes a lot of weight off your shoulders. And further down the road, depending on, how far you want to take things, it really expedites the process when you have a good right-hand person to do that with.
Oh, yeah. No, I count myself extremely lucky that my brother was the one that was able to step in and fill that role. I didn't have to outsource or find a friend or train somebody to put up with my unique character. So it worked out real well. And I mean, like I said, he's running the whole operation as far as running the trucks and mowing the yards and everything. And I just handle admin and back end stuff at the moment.
That's funny. It's like it runs in the business, in the family.
That's the way to keep it, though. My kids they're already begging to get on the mowers, so we're just going to keep it going.
Oh, right on, man. So when you got into the industry, did you, like, right from the back wanted to use electric equipment, or did you gas, and then as you saw that there was options for electric, make that transition? Tell me a little bit of how that went for you.
Oh, yeah. Well, I guess you and I have chatted a little bit online in the past, but we probably haven't had like a formal here's the story kind of thing. I was a property manager for a 17-acre property, and I did everything that you can do on the property. If we couldn't do it, I'd hire a professional. But lawn and landscape, and I rode this old John Deere mower around and just beat myself up. The fields are rough. It just hurt. When
Yep.
that project was over and they no longer needed me on the property, I didn't want to go back into the office. I had dropped a lot of weight. I'd been in the office for years as a drafting engineer in the mechanical field and telecom world. So I love being outside. I loved being around the plants. I loved it was great. So we sat back and I started just talking to my brother and my wife and my dad, and we just started talking about what are we going to do. Was something would be better than nothing. If we're going to stay outside, if I'm going to stay outside, I'll mow grass. That's easy. But it's like you look around in South Florida and you say, well, there's 5,000 guys in town between the chuck and the truck and the large landscaping crews with hundreds of employees doing the large gated communities and large beautiful landscaping jobs. What's going to set us apart? What's going to make us somebody that people want to hire that's different? So I really spent some time researching and adding, like, just offering these crazy ideas to my family to see which one would resound, see which one they would kind of give me some feedback on. And they really all they helped me enjoy the opportunity of chasing the electric idea and the battery powered stuff. And so when we started Kick Gas Lawns, it was 100% electric from the go. Between my personal investment, the vehicle, the buying a trailer and rigging up, it was probably 30 grand cash out of pocket just to invest in getting the equipment to start making money. And from there, that was the end of the story as far as getting started. We started mowing grass and we just didn't stop. If I couldn't find a customer, I was still mowing grass. I was mowing for free. I'd mow for neighbors just to show them how quiet the machine was. I'd mow for the lady down the street just because it was overgrown and needed to look better. And what the heck? It doesn't cost me anything to mow except I sharpen the blade.
Yep. I like it, man. I like the hustle on that.
That's the start. I mean, that's how we got going. And then about a year into it of just working and grinding, I got to where I couldn't handle it on my own. I was right about to the edge of my personal schedule limit. I couldn't handle putting on anybody else. And my brother, in his life in Texas, the situation just turned out just right. He was ready to make a transition. The work opportunities narrowed down out there, and then he made his way this way. It's been it's been good. 2017 we got started. August of 2017. I started in the summer. Worst time to start a lawn business.
Oh man, you just in Florida summer too, because we're in North Florida, Jacksonville. So I know all too well how it gets like this how it gets during the summertime, the humidity. We're out here working, and it's 115-degree heat index.
Oh.
That's rough to jump in right in summer.
And we jumped in both feet 100% electric and just beat the donkey out of our machines. They stood up to everything I threw them through, from 4-inch tall Bahia overgrown for years to, I mean, the tall, thick, it's almost like St. Augustine, but wider sawgrass looking stuff that grows up on septic systems in rural areas. Yeah. Oh man, just the hardest stuff. And these machines just kept working. So we kept saying we could do more.
I think I remember seeing some cleanup videos that you had posted with the mower online at some point. So I vaguely remember seeing you like mowing through some thick St. Augustine grass on those things.
Yeah, I think we were probably one of the early helpers, just putting some stuff out there online, trying to add to the social media groups, trying to help guys understand, hey, these are embraceable, super, super cool machines. And oh man.
And you had the 48-inch stalker by Mean Green, right?
Yeah, we've always ran the stalkers for sure. We have 3 now.
Oh, awesome, man. What do you think some of the drawbacks are of that particular mower?
Ooh, I kind of get mechanical engineering background, so problem solving, and I mean, it's a part of it. So you think of a weight rack up front, DIY style, it's going to help you on hill climbs. We don't have a lot of hilly terrain down here in South Florida. We're right in the middle of the state, so we're bottom end of zone 9B, top of 10, still subtropics where I'm at. And we mow year round, all year. There's really not a stop for mowing, but some of the neighborhoods, when you have deep swales, a little bit of weight up front makes it work. You get to just hopping off the platform, and you figure out how to make the machines do what you need to. But I always thought, more than just drawbacks, it's just the untapped potential in the stalker was something that I loved, because if you just added a 12-volt port up front, you could have slip-on front attachments for your broadcast spreaders, your chemical spreaders. I mean, you could do so many little plug-and-play things
Yep.
for the front of the stalker, and it's still such a unique machine. I'm going to keep buying used ones as I find them, because Mean Green will support the battery platform, and I'm going to keep just goofing with them, building different things for them. I've put Let's Go spreaders on the front with little cradles to hold the back wheel or back kickstand, and so you can just let a cord down and front tires hit, it throws granular everywhere. All kinds of stuff.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Would you now? You're using the stalker for your mower. What are you using for your hand equipment?
Oh, we played around and demoed everything that was back there back in 2017. So Oregon had a tool line back then. Husqvarna had a line. We ended up landing on Stihl, and I figured we had 3 local Stihl dealers. One jumped in and was saying, like, we'll support your electric stuff. And early on, a couple of triggers on line trimmers went, all warranty stuff. So it was real quick turnaround, really well supported. And I never stepped away from Stihl. We were fortunate early on. We got a project contract with D.R. Horton, fairly large builder in the down in the South, I guess. But they had 30.
Oh yeah, they're up by us too.
Big, yeah. Oh yeah. Then the big communities they build. There was 30 of them from Mims to Port St. Lucie that we got a contract on to just do line trimming around the street side utilities where the bush hog guy couldn't get close to the pedestals for the power and cable TV and stuff. And I want to say that contract was just for transparency in the world of people making money with electric equipment. It was probably $11,500 to $12,000 a month, and we would drive with 4 backpacks, the AR 3000 backpacks, 2 line trimmers. We had one power head, the combi power head, and
the KMRs,
the KMA
130,
the KMA 130. We had one of those as a backup just in case our line trimmer puked. One of our line trimmers puked, and we'd just drive up. And so we would knock out our mowing, and we would be done for the week on Thursday. We'd run up and we'd mow with line trim Friday, Saturday, and knock out these communities one at a time. And then just the longevity, these line trimmers all day, commercial, like heavy weeds. You know how they get in the construction sites, and we'd get out there and just knock this stuff to pieces. One backpack would last a half a day, full out, like just heavy line trimming. And
using on what power setting were you using that on?
Variable. You play with it. It's like racing your car. You just play with the throttle all the time. You find the best place for it. I always just, I don't do cruise control in a car either. You just control it anyway. But we stuck with Stihl for the handheld equipment. And because they endured so much working in the rain and so much of that hard commercial work out front, and then kept up with the residential stuff, we've stayed Stihl this entire time. We've demoed others and stayed Stihl.
Yeah, Stihl actually has they're definitely one of my favorite product lines that are out there. They're like probably, in my opinion, the most similar feel to running a gas piece of equipment. How they're weighted, the power, the RPMs that they run at. Even on we run all the combi units. We don't have any dedicated. Obviously, each combi unit will have a dedicated edger, weed eater, and whatnot. But even on that lowest power setting, it's more than enough power to take care of all your regular maintenance services.
I tell most guys the FSA 90, the dedicated 90. It's the light end of the Stihl power band as far as the line trimmers go. But if you're just doing residential light duty cleanup and you were there last week, you're not hogging into doing anything. Keep it light duty. You're not chucking rocks. All these years, no windows, no cars, no dings, no dents, no insurance claims. This stuff, we just run it light duty. It's like you. If we're in the ditch, we run it. We hog on it. If we're up beside the house, they're so easy to run light.
Yeah. I think that's one thing a lot of guys underestimate is that, yes, the gas equipment is going to run at higher RPMs for a longer amount of time, but I really think it's more power than what you need on a regular basis. like switching over to electric and making that transition, you realize that you don't need to run your trimmers full throttle in order to keep up with regular maintenance stuff. Running at those lower power levels, getting the battery life out of it is more than sufficient to really handle the workload.
I 100% agree. I had the same conversation with a steel engineer. That one reason we've stuck with steel all these years is as we reached out to companies in the beginning, in the early days, and said, "Hey, we're going all electric and we're going full time. We want to know what you got." Steel really stepped up to the plate. Before the KMA 130 was available in the country, I was able to call a few garden shops around the UK and had one. We were probably one of the first in the country to actually hold the units. When the local steel dealers started making noise, Steel Corporate from Atlanta or somewhere up here, they had an engineer from Germany come over, came down with the corporate guy, and they met us out on one of our job sites, and they dug around in our trailer for about an hour. They wanted to ask how we built the broom system that we use on artificial turf, if you guys have seen that on social.
Yep.
And just even having the KMA, the corporate guys had never even touched the units before. The engineers want to know how we got it, why we got it, the fact that we were running, but the way they responded and supported us, and they said, you can use our name, Powered by Steel, even with the legal issues, the way they embraced it, it was unlike any of the other manufacturers. And there's a lot of reps around, but few stepped up as hard as Steel did in the early days. When we were a little company, just a little bitty family owned, just looking to start, they supported it,
Yeah, that's pretty cool for them to put that kind of effort and time into a company that's just starting out. Normally you'll see that kind of attention and effort on guys who are well established, running multiple crews, but in the fact that you are just starting the venture of running the electric lawn care business, and they came out and showed that kind of support. That's really cool. I believe we had a conversation about trying to get the those combi units, because I was looking for them at the time, and you had directed me, say, "Oh yeah, we got it from overseas." I tried getting them from overseas, and I just couldn't make that happen. But luckily, they ended up offering it in my area pretty shortly after that, so I was able to acquire those. No, that's awesome. So since you've been running electric equipment, do you think that some of your clients have specifically signed up with you for that? How many do you think signed up because you're electric? How many of them do you think just didn't really care?
Because we knew what we were getting into, we started our company with a CRM right out of the gate. I had started with Jobber actually back when they were still little. And it helped us track all of that inbound kind of information. So we would always ask, "How'd you hear about us?" Whether they saw a little trailer running around town, or they say they saw a truck, or some of our guys, when it was just me and my brother, it was funny hearing where they saw it, where they heard about us. But I would say 45 to 50% is the people that they don't care. They just call you because you're the next guy down the street, or they Google you, or you're just a lawn company. Yeah. And I'd say right about there, 35 to 45% of the people, they found us. If we've registered on a couple of different quiet community websites. They were, I think I heard back in 2018, I was working installing some generators on the side with a friend, and he was telling me that Palm Beach Gardens and down in the beaches was they were banning gas blowers. And then I heard about Lake Wales out here in the center of the state. They had a big gated community that just banned all the gas blowers. And I thought, well, shoot, we ought to do something to make that marketable, Mm-hmm. And so we started asking people if they heard of us, and they said, no, it's because we're quiet. And so all the quiet marketing that we did, it brought it in too. The neighbors would tell everybody about how quiet we were. So the referrals were big. People found us because they were looking for quiet communities. They were looking for quiet contractors. And then our local area, we have, I started networking pretty early, getting into the local, just small networking groups in town, professional networking groups, and getting in with real estate agent lunches. And so the word of mouth got around about the quiet company and the all electric guys. And so I'm trying to put the numbers just out of my head. It's been a minute since I dove into my stats.
Yeah, no, I get it.
I didn't want to get grilled on numbers, but I'd say half and half, a little under half search us out because we're all electric.
Yep. Yeah, that's I'd say that's about right. Some people I found are really supportive of it. And, if you're bidding against other companies, even if you guys are about the right around the same price point, or even if you're a little bit higher, that is a benefit. I wouldn't say it's necessarily a closing deal for homeowners. I think it's more of a benefit, of like a service that we offer. But yeah, I've had a pretty similar experience where you get all these people who really don't care; they just want their yard cut, and then you have other people who actually really appreciate, the quieter service visit, which I think is kind of underrated when other people are considering the electric equipment, because you have to come back and realize what kind of experience you're providing for your clients.
Yep.
But being able to offer them the lesser noise, like, they can hang out at their house, they can do their work, they can, do all their daily activities and not have to have a loud motor going all, around the entire perimeter of your home, because you got to weed eat all the way around. So that motor is literally 2 feet away from the house at almost all times.
Yeah, I'd say
So
that was probably one of the biggest eye openers through the whole COVID mess. That, I mean, we weren't affected in a negative way. We grew, and people would people would complain on Facebook, and other people would answer, "Well, you ought to hear my lawn guy. It's awesome." And it was the quiet aspect was huge, and the more people know how quiet it is, I'd say it even retains them. Just knowing that you're electric gives you a second chance when you mess up. If you own it gracefully, it gives you that extra value proposition that they're trying to hold on to, and it helps you recover from maybe a goof up on scheduling, or a goof up on maybe running over an irrigation head and having to get out and replace it. And I'd say the more they like you, the more different reasons you can give them to like you, the more the reason they want to keep you around.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely helps build that relationship that you have with the client. That's
Agreed.
why, like, you really have to start things off strong with them. So, later on down the road, like, eventually something's going to go wrong.
Mm-hmm.
You can't service all your properties to the T on schedule every single week year round. You can get pretty close, but with rain, equipment, employees, just things are going to go wrong. So, knowing that they have a good experience with you, knowing that what happened is like an abnormal occurrence, it buys you that extra grace. It keeps those clients with you.
Mm-hmm.
So, since you've been running your business, what's a story or an experience that, good, bad, maybe it was something funny that stands out to you?
Is it specifically around electric equipment, or is it
Just lawn care
just
in
just
general.
lawn care, the industry, a story? Oh, I like it when you're doing massive cleanups and you've got the dump trailer out and you've got equipment and ropes and you're dragging debris up from like the riverbank, on the Indian River or something, and you're really just killing it, drenched in sweat, been just dogging it, and the next door neighbor walks up and says, "Hey, can I can I get you to give me a price on this over here?" Like, well, first of all, you don't even appreciate what I'm doing enough to not interrupt me in the middle of the work. So, sure, what you got? Let's chat. And you go through telling them honest prices. I'll do what I'm doing over here for you over here. And you end up getting something like, what's the least you can do? And I've always been like, well, I mean, I'll find some way to find a low budget, throw at it. My younger brother, man, he steps in, he says, I tell you, have a great day and get back to work. People would just, first time it happened, he just stands there, his jaw hits his chest, and he just stands there. We go back to work. He just stands there watching us 10, 15 minutes, scratches his head, and walks back away. Stuff like that entertains me. I mean, I end up getting caught talking to my customers. I care about them. I end up developing relationships with them. I look out for them. When you're on people's properties and you're looking out for their best interest, you look at their windows, you look at their spigots. If something's out of place, something's not working right with their AC or something, you mention it. And so you end up getting a lot of really cool folks who like trading plants. They like trading what they think is interesting and valuable for what you think is interesting and valuable. And in the plant world, if you're taking care of somebody's lawn and you're partnered up with taking care of what they got going on and they love the plants, it ends up being super rewarding. We have a house here and a little lot right beside us that we're turning into a full full food forest. And so mangoes that I've been propagating from 4 years ago, and I'm going to put them in. I know where they came from. They came from Ava's house. And the macadamia nuts, they came from Bill's Orchard place. And each thing that I put in, my bananas came from my whole garden world. What ends up feeding my family is full of memories, full of the people that I've served, full of the community. And that's probably the coolest thing that I'm building. The coolest little story is how that story is growing around just what we're doing as a little business, just taking care of people's grass, just helping make their lives a little easier, giving them somebody they can trust and depend on to do the simple thing. It's good.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I had to restrain myself for a second from tossing in a dad joke. Where you're like, oh yeah, it's growing up. That's how the story's growing up. Oh yeah, it's a plant.
I'm full of them.
That's awesome. Oh, what have you ever had a moment or came in a situation where like something bad happened and you were ready to, just call the quits?
I had a conversation like this with my brother just probably within the last month. When you own a business and you well, heck, just this life, right? You're going through this life. There's gonna be in a business in a lawn business. Say there's just one screw that comes off the mower deck. That one screw is gonna mess up your whole day if you let it. You can let it. You can let that sucker derail your whole day, take your peace, take your joy, take all your confidence, and get you spiraled into what the hell am I going to do? I can't even get to my next customer. I'm freaking out. Or you can just deal with it. You go find a screw, you go find a replacement, you go fix it. You just keep moving forward one step at a time, and you get on the other side of it as quick as possible. We had all of the trailer lights in our trailer just stop working out of the blue. Brother's driving I think our company truck right now is a 2016 Tacoma. Mm-hmm. So great truck, great electronics, everything's working fine. It worked great the day before. Go hook it back up and take off. Nothing, no lights anywhere. So he comes home from the dump. Because he left in the morning, go empty the rig, and he was coming back just go get worried. The guy out the dump said, no lights on the trailer. He quit for the day. Went home, he troubleshot. He was digging around, but electrical's maybe not his strong suit. So I get home from my 9 to 5, and I go out and I troubleshoot the basics, test voltage on pins, this, that, this other thing. And I said, well, it looks like we're down to there's a ground somewhere in the trailer. We're just going to rewire the trailer. Simple thing. Harbor Freight has a $30 light kit. You can keep moving forward. It doesn't have to be much. Just keep moving forward. But he let it derail him for a day and a half, where he got as far as I did on the first day and then stopped. My 15 minutes of troubleshooting with him said, okay, here's this as far as we can go. Now jump to action. You already know. Go buy the lights. Get it installed. It's just a little work. Don't let it stop your day. So if I can convey that that's been my attitude for almost 20 years, it takes a lot to rock this boat.
Yeah.
A motor's going to go on your mower. It takes a half hour to swap it. A tire's going to go on the trailer. Takes a half hour to swap it. If you don't panic, you just pick up your tools and you put on your gloves and you do your job. It's so easy just to be doing what you need to do and keep moving forward. Don't let the stress bog you down. If that's the one that could overarch so many other situations, yeah. Don't let one screw up your whole day. Just fix it.
No, I really like that mentality. I do the same thing in my business. It's like as an owner, you are constantly having to navigate through problems over and over. So eventually you become good at it and you realize, you can take the mentality or the perspective that like, hey, I'm just going to deal with it. We'll move on. We'll get it worked out. Work fast. Don't waste time being upset about it. Because as soon as you give into that, that's when your progression stops. That's when like your production slows down.
You break traction.
That really, I think, comes with experience in dealing with these situations over and over time. Like, like when you got your first flat tire, you're like, oh man, this really sucks. I got to go to the gas station. I got to go to the hardware store. And then like, all right, moving forward, you start keeping plugs in your trailer. you know where all the closest gas stations are that have free air. So like you subconsciously, just through your experiences, develop solutions and systems to deal with the stuff you come across. So like being able to keep a positive mindset the whole time not only helps you lead your team, the people who are around you, people who you're working with, but also protects your own inner peace and like your own well-being. So I really think that's a crucial mindset as a business owner for like for all of us to keep and to work on, because not everyone's naturally like that. That's
Well, it's a
I
discipline.
come again.
It's a discipline.
Yeah, yeah.
90% of your life is how you react to what's going to happen, because it rains on everybody. It don't
Yep.
matter if you're doing right or wrong. It's going to rain all over you. How you choose to do it, that's what determines the rest of your life.
Mm-hmm.
A whole bunch of reactions all chained together. You might as well choose to make a good reaction from the beginning.
Oh yeah, most certainly, man. No, that's awesome. I definitely appreciate someone who thinks like that. Now, as you're going through your business and looking back and where you started and where you come from, if you were to come across someone who's like just getting into the industry, someone who's looking to use electric equipment, we'll put this in a two-part question. What advice would you give someone who's looking to get started? And what advice would you give someone who wants to use an electric equipment?
Uh, you know, I think I'd give the same advice for either way. Do it. If you want to start a lawn business, do it.
Yep.
Don't stop, and don't let nobody tell you you can't. Don't let anybody tell you you can't go mow somebody's grass.
Mm-hmm.
Get out there and start a lawn business. If you think, electric equipment might be the way to go, do it. Buy the best equipment you can get your hands on. It's going to last. I spent 30 grand in the first just to invest, just to get going. And I mean, you could put your hands on a government loan from the SBA for next to nothing. You can get that equipment on a dime, and you can start making money and serving your community. But I guess do it, but know why. Why the hell are you going to wake up early and sharpen blades and get in the truck and get out there and get sweaty and wet and mow Betty's grass and pick up the leaves and go to the dump when it's muddy and your truck's going to get stuck? And what the hell are you going to do it for? Know why you're going to get out of bed before you do, and then do what you're going to get out of bed for. So if you want to get up and mow grass, do it. If you want to use electric equipment, do it. It works. Warranties are great. Companies do support all these tools. If you can buy box store stuff, it has warranties, and you can just walk right back into the box store and work it. If you're running gas equipment, gosh, that's an easy transition. You're just going to stop spending as much money to make money. If it's, oh man, I wouldn't stop anybody from starting it. I'm pushing everybody. Start it. Everybody ought to own a business before.
Yep. Scratch that itch, because like if you don't do it, if you don't do it, and then a lot of guys, they'll be hesitant. Overall, it's a pretty easy entry level industry to get into. Especially if you just want to go with basic gas equipment, you can get in fairly cheap. There's cheap electric options, but it's funny that you mentioned the box store and their warranties, because back in 2015, I was using Echo's electric equipment. They had like a power head, edger, weed eater type deal, and every 6 months I would go in and swap it out for a new one. I'd buy one unit, it would break. I'd go in and come out with a new one, and every 6 months I was doing that process. We literally had like a graveyard of Echo equipment in our garage because of like how many of those like we went through. Because like after the warranty expired, we kept the equipment and just used it for parts. We made like a 10-foot long extended hedge trimmer just because we were adding the shafts together. Like we would hold it up and the whole thing would bow down at the bottom because there was just like it was ridiculous. That was the first line of equipment we used before we bought all the still equipment that we did. But that's funny. That's exactly what we used to do.
Absolutely perfect, guys. If anybody watches this and says, I just want to start, go to Harbor Freight. Buy the junk. Buy the no, they're not junk. Buy the tools, the electric battery powered tools. You can buy that extended warranty on those things for 2 years for like $8. Before the warranty runs out, you just walk it back into the store and say, "I don't like it." They'll give you another one.
Yep.
I mean, there's no excuse.
Yeah, it's and that's such a good little hack too. Like, because like it's a okay to do that. It's what the warranties are there for, and then like it lowers your risk, the amount of money you have to put into it. So like it's a very good tactic to do when like you're first starting out. And then obviously you can't really do that with still equipment. I mean they you have to go and they'll take care of it at the shop. They do honor all their warranties. With our experience with them, we use Ag Pro up here. And then anytime we've ever had a problem, we drop it off. And it obviously depends on the season, what time of year you're dropping it off, your turnaround time. So like you always got to have backups, just for when you go to drop it off for that warranty work. But yeah, I mean, you take advantage of that stuff, and while it's available, that's the whole purpose of it.
Absolutely. And they encourage you to. The employees, the managers, the people at those stores, most people don't honor the warranties or take care of them. So if you do, win-win. It's what it's there for.
Yep, most certainly. So as we're entering summer here, it's just beginning of June. The heat's starting to climb right now. We're in like mid to low 90s every day again. What are your plans for the summer and the rest of 2022?
We've been having some conversations about that. I actually took this job and got out of our business to work on getting the home refinance done. So it took about 10 months just to have the work history and the pay history and get that done. We've closed. We're moving on to the next chapter of life, which is fantastic.
Awesome.
So my brother and I have had some sit down conversations lately, and we've entertained the idea of building little Rangers like you've got going, because I love the bed. I love the bed ramp setup. Another good friend in town has it on an F-150. I've thought about a full size. We do a lot of debris collection, I think, is a value add, not leaving it at the curb. People love that in our area. So having the capacity to remove it, I'm playing around with vehicle ideas, but we're looking at, it would only take about 10 more onboarded clients for me to transition back to our company and have it'd be a lateral financial move. So we were playing around with the idea, and we're discussing the ideas now of whether we want to go a landscaping crew and rig up. We have a 05 Silverado. New motor will be fresh in it probably the first part of next month. And it can pull. We've got a great dump trailer for debris, and we've got a large trailer that can pull 2 or 3 stalkers in it. So we could load up a full crew and run all lawn and be super efficient, and then have a landscaping crew running separate, going around, taking their time, doing the shrubs, doing extreme cleanup. But I like the high revenue of landscaping. My brother likes the repetitive, get it done of lawn care. He can focus on bonsai. He can focus on whatever he's got in his dreams and chasing what he's doing, and just do the everyday rote pattern, get there, do the work, clean up, go.
Yep.
If we put him on fast and efficient, and he can find a team member to hire on and train, then more than likely I'm going to take the landscaping side of things, and I'll run. I've got a guy or two that I've already been just in relationship, just friends in town that I think I could probably see how it works. I mean, other than that, just get going. We've got young guys around the church, and we've got other people that I could pull from and just say, hey, you want to mow? Let's have fun. And so that's kind of where we're going. We're going to be growing. We're putting the pedal to the floor. We're going to be onboarding more clients. We're going to be potentially split into 2 crews. Initially, we jump in and just mow together, but then split and grow.
Yep.
We just keep going.
Yeah, most definitely. You can you guys got that other truck. You guys got the trailers. You can split. You got your brother that you can depend on to take care of the maintenance. If you're going to spearhead the landscaping, you can go, full throttle on that. Going into that, you'll have a wide open schedule. So like you'll be able to go and just fill that up. And if you're doing it within the next, 6 to 12 weeks as we're in summer, a lot of what you'll find is that a lot of guys can't take on the project work. So you're going to get a lot of work, just from that alone, because everyone's going to be filled with maintenance. All their trucks and routes are going to be filled up. And Some guys are going to be hurting for employees. Other guys are going to be running into other issues. Scheduling, we get all of our afternoon showers. That's a whole nother thing that we have to accommodate for, those 3 o'clock showers, 2 o'clock showers every day. So like you have all these people who are going to start having all these problems in their business, and you're going to have this open schedule and take all of that open land grab. So I think that could be very, very beneficial for you guys to go and split the maintenance and the landscaping, especially if that's what you guys are motivated and want to do.
More of what I try to do is I'm developing towards edible landscape installation. So that's where I'm going to be going. I'm going to be doing the landscaping end of things, removing, putting in new things, and transitioning from grass holes and invasives, the umbrella trees and invasive Australian different plants and stuff. We can get them out of here and put in natives and put in fruiting and stuff that'll feed your family, feed your neighbors, feed the bees, all kinds of cool stuff. I'll probably go landscaping. I like the high ticket. I think revenue on mowing per rig per day is like $500 in revenue. It's pretty low to just make the nut in the mowing crew. But I like pushing the landscaping days up to $1,250, $1,500 landscaping days, and just the goal of it to hit it simple and just doing a cleanup, just labor, just going doing a leaf cleanup and palm tree cleanup and stuff. I can turn $1,000 a day quick. Fill the schedule to my own desired schedule, and we can keep the lawn crew running. That's the meat and potatoes that keeps the bills paid. We run everything on service contracts. We don't do any handshake agreements, cash agreement kind of things. So we bill in the first of the month. The company runs on its own revenue. It doesn't run on my money. It doesn't run on my brother's money. It runs on its own cash. And I would encourage everybody to try to think like that. If you need equipment and you're growing and you have signatures on 150 clients, banks will loan you money for equipment. Yep. If you have 50 handshakes that give you $20 a week, good luck.
Yep. No, it doesn't cut it. You got to be able to prove that your business is operating, that you have cash flow, that you have a subscription service. That's really what the bank side is, the subscription service, because that's that guaranteed, monthly income. So when you're able to have that consistent revenue that comes in every single month, and then you pair that with the landscaping. Now, with the landscaping, you get the cool part of the scheduling aspect, where if you want to take a 3-4 day weekend, you just don't schedule jobs on those days. You schedule it around it. And that's really when you get a good feel of like being in control of like your own time, your own scheduling, yes, and really making your business an asset of your life. You use it to make money, but you also use it to enjoy your life too.
That's the start. That's just the start. When you can use it to enjoy what you're a little freedom in the journey you're taking, but it gets really cool. And I think you're starting to bridge into this in your business. I've been watching you on social media. You've got a couple guys, you got the gym going on. You're starting to, instead of just employ guys and send them out to work, you're starting to really deposit larger investments into them than a paycheck a week. And that's going to return dividends on your investment compared to the dollar bills you're paying your guys. I think that's when you cross over from having a business and making a couple bucks to helping others chase their dreams, empowering your guys to buy the car they're dreaming of, empowering your guy to put the ring on the girl's finger that he just can't get enough of, or put the money on their first house. When you know you're going out and you're bidding this job because your dude needs it and he wants to work and he's hungry, you're starting to learn how important it is to take care of your first customers, your interior customers, your employees. They have to believe your vision 1,000,000%, because when they run out there and they're doing it, you got nothing to worry about if they're in. If they're buying into your vision, then all you do is you get to focus on helping them achieve their dreams while they just knock out the vision. Dude, I like what you're doing. I think I'm encouraged that even 4.5 years in, we're kind of comfortable in a small setup, and we need to grow, because I need to sow into people's lives like you're doing. I need to be able to, I have that want. I want to be able to empower other guys to, get things going early on in the world of dreams about kick gas. I think I saw a video Must have been an online video of a dude up in the Ohio somewheres, and it might even have been early electric equipment, but he was working with military vets, young guys our age, our peers that are coming back blown up and having to try to live with life, and PTSD, loud noises, lawnmower equipment. This stuff can cause some severe issues. And this fellow on this video, he had kind of targeted at hiring these guys, this demographic, our peers that went out and served and ended up hurting because of it. Now, he had a great kind of an angle at hiring these guys. I'm sure he worked with the local VA and the local groups. I think that's something that even if just sharing that kind of inspiration from me early in the days of trying to start a business, that was a seed that I put on my board that said, like, that's what I want to do. I want to be able to get people who maybe can't fit in a traditional job. They can't fit with, they love mowing grass, but the equipment just all of a sudden they come home and they can't even mow grass because it trips something that they have no control of. But this electric equipment works. The noise level's lower. The impact on their sensory is lower. And this guy's hiring. He's hiring like crazy. Back in the day, he was. I'd have to find him to figure out if he's doing it anymore. But, yeah, transitioning over. I think that's where I was trying to make that point. Is
that's crazy. I would have never even. I've never thought about that. And that makes total sense to me. Like total sense. That would be a very good fit to like be a part of, a business who's set up around electric equipment that's awesome.
I have a friend who was in the Air Force. He was just a helicopter mechanic, and he told me that he was in transit from one spot to another just to fix a helicopter, and the little transport he was in got blown up. He's got shrapnel stuck in his body. He's come back from overseas. He's the kid I went to high school with, and he couldn't even mow the grass at the house because it messed with him. So his wife would mow the grass, and just playing video games together, keeping in touch. I told him about electric equipment. He went out and bought an electric mower, and guess who gets to mow the grass and be the man of the house like he wants to be? Let me tell you, that's freedom for guys. So
that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's truly being able to, take back something that you thought you weren't going to be able to do again. I had my accident back in 2019 when I shattered both my ankles, and like I was stuck in a wheelchair for like 6-7 months. And like, I think a lot of my mentality came from, the gratitude of just being able to wake up and walk, like simply just being able to walk, having gratitude, like down to that level has really helped out a lot. And man, I really appreciate that insight that you had on, what we're doing over here, and like being able to create a business that has an impact on the people who work for you, that when they come to work for you, that you're going to improve, their quality of life one way or the other, whether that's giving them, back the ability to do something they didn't think they were. And like, the case that you brought up with the vets and the PTSD, and being able to give them that opportunity that they can still do this type of work, whether it's for you or with the business or just at your own personal home.
Or we can franchise and help them have their own package. I mean, come on, there are all kinds of options.
Oh yeah, most definitely, man. So awesome, man. I greatly appreciate you taking the time out of your evening to sit down with me. We'll definitely have to sit down and do this again sometime. There's so many things we could go over and topics to discuss.
So little time.
We didn't even touch on marketing or advertising or, systems and CRM. So there's all kinds of stuff, but, I appreciate you. Keep on doing what you're doing. You guys are awesome. I'll keep an eye out for your videos that you post online, and, let's definitely do this again sometime.
Thanks for just reaching out to the community. Number one, thanks for turning yourself into the electric lawn care guy. I told myself years ago, I don't want to be that guy. I didn't want to be a YouTube thing. So I love that you're doing it. I'm going to cheer for you. You got my number. If you got questions, if you ever need support, if you need me to show up on site, I'm local. I'm in Florida, man. So
Yep.
keep my number and keep in touch. I'm looking forward to seeing how this podcast goes. I want to see where you go with it and how you give back to the community, because it's already enriching the guys on our small Facebook group. They're already seeing, you're talking about numbers. You're talking about real number stuff for guys getting started. Everybody starts a business thinking about taking care of themselves and then taking care of their family and then taking care of the bills, and then it's taking care of other people. And you're stepping out. So keep it up. I'm going to keep watching. I'm going to keep cheering.
Hey, thanks a lot, man. And quick closing, where can people find you on social media if they want to look you up and maybe ask you some questions?
Oh, we are Kick Gas Lawns on Instagram. I'm sure there's underscores in there. If you Google Kick Gas Lawns, we have a .com. It's got a splash page. We never did get the website developed. We had some issues with getting hacked, and it took a while to get the domain back from Google's blacklist. But Kick Gas Lawns. We're on Insta, we're on Facebook, and we're on YouTube. But we haven't done videos yet on YouTube. Maybe coming soon.
Yeah, awesome, man. Thanks again, and we'll be in touch.
Have a good one. See you.